Sunsets beginning. So it's 2 more days and I'm flying out, and this is like the view from, so there's my rooftop where you can climb up here and you get a pretty good view of like this area. One of my favorite parts about like Taipei and Taiwan, like it's got a really natural city landscape. You can tell like all the buildings evolved kind of naturally over time, were built, and it has this really chill feel to it. I love these like narrow alleys. I think if I come back to Taipei, probably wouldn't be in this area, although I do really like it, but I want to kind of try out different parts. Like this part is so international, Tianmu. It's mostly like, well, no, there's obviously lots of Taiwanese families. That's still the predominant kind of demographic here. But it has a lot of international families because the international schools of Taipei are mostly based here. And I've checked out places in other parts of Taipei, and like the feel is so vastly different. It's pretty crazy. There it just feels like, it feels so much more local. This place doesn't feel, and it still feels local for a foreigner, but then after you kind of get used to it and you explore like other areas, you see how it's not so local anymore. Another cool thing about Taipei is like, there's got so many rooftops you can do stuff on. Or you see people like on these rooftops just exercising or doing something. Rooftop, 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 rooftop. So some of the things I'll miss the most while I'm gone from Taiwan, and then like kind of the reasons why I came here. So actually before coming to Taiwan, I'd already been here. I visited like one summer ago just for like a few days, but I didn't actually get that much big of a picture of like what the feel is like of the city. But I had spent a lot of time in Korea and like other parts of Southeast Asia, like Thailand. And why I wanted to move out to Asia after, like I knew I was graduating like a few months before, you know, I was finishing my university and I was already applying to jobs, and I was like mostly looking for jobs in Asia. And one of the main things, well, some of the main things I was looking for was like convenience, safety, just kind of like the overall chillness of the country and just ease of living. And I think like Taiwan is like insane in that regard. I mean, it's like so convenient. There's everything everywhere. There's like, you know, obviously there's 7-Elevens working 24 hours in every corner, and family marts and stuff like that. You can kind of always get what you need. Everything's super affordable. Like food, you never have to cook here. You can easily live on like, you know, like $10 a day or something like that, especially depending on the area. You can live either super cheap, but I live like somewhere in the middle because I kind of like, it's a super safe city. Like people here, you can tell they live like, well, they kind of you're meant to prioritize society over the individual. So it's not such an individualist society, it's kind of like the opposite. So I think that's one of the reasons why people here come off as so kind. And you can tell like sometimes they really go out of their way to help you out. I think they kind of get a lot of joy from like interacting with people. And whereas like in other countries, I think it's, especially like Western countries, it's more about how much can I maximize my own individual success, etc., etc. I mean, don't get me wrong, people here are obviously like still success driven and so forth. But actually one interesting thing here is like, what my friends told me like when I moved in, you kind of like, I agree with it, It's like you can't tell who the rich people are here. Obviously, there are still people who like to buy, designer clothes and flash it about and stuff like that. But trust me, especially because around this area, like as I was saying, it's like a very wealthy area, but you can't really tell. There aren't that many people who look like very rich or anything like that.